Hey my stars, it's me Missy, I'm back, and today we are going to be playing some more Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries of New York. And now, when we last left off, let's see here, we took care of a stalker, we helped out a gangrel vampire lady, and she, I think, is now a part of our coterie, which is lovely. We were trying to make friends with a blood warlock. We don't know how well that's going so far. We're supposed to be helping him out with his detective work. And we still have to talk to this weird religious vampire and see how that goes. Oh, and hunters were after me and almost killed me. Isn't that great? Anyway, my dears, let's get into the game. We need to rest. You wake up. This is not your haven. It's a cramped space. You try to move your arms and find they are tied to your body. You can barely bend your legs. When you try to stretch your neck, you hit a cold ceiling. You can't believe it, but this is a coffin. Or something else, something close enough to it. It vibrates slightly, but you can't hear any sound coming from outside. It's entirely dark. Whoever has put me in this coffin might get a little angry, so try and break out. Let's smash our way out. You focus and divert your blood to boost your physical prowess. The way you imagine it, you're going to superhuman punch the lid off this thing. You kick it with all your strength, but only make a dent in it. Interesting. Hey, it's a start. You keep kicking with each hit, you make a bigger dent. You manage to make a small crack in the very bottom of the container, but of light sound coming. Crackle of a radio, the hum of a car's engine, a nervous male voice. Object is breaking containment, please advise. Did I get kidnapped? How did this happen? A response you don't quite catch. The brakes of the car and impact jolts your container about. Keep kicking, keep wrestling out of your prison. Car door breaks. Oh my god. The car door opens violently. You hear a gun being cocked, a panicked scream. Operation compromised. Engaging blank bodies. Shots, a struggle, silence. The lid comes off. What the? Tamika! Beast Mode Tamika came to your help in the grand finale. We found you. You were trying to cross the border, right? Hope is a dangerous thing. Hope came to help you in the grand finale. What? Wait, this is the grand finale? What the fuck? You were trying to cross the border, right? Walked right into that Imperial ambush. Same as us and that asshole over there. Come on, get up. We gotta get going. Seeing their faces surprising even more so in the circumstances. However, you realize you need danger and follow your companions out of the car and down a street in North Bronx. One second, I have to check something really quickly. The van has crashed into another car. A familiar face out of Kaiser's pool. Jackie stumbles out of the wrecked sedan and slinks away into the darkness before you can call after him. Soon you jog away through the line of trees and take shelter under some branches, just as you hear a chopper approaching. Its searchlight illuminates the wrecked van and moves toward you. Hide! Now! It's me to literally go underground, melding with the earth beneath her feet as if she was being swallowed up. You look carefully, she's not there. You haven't seen any movement, just a tree she leaned against to scan for sound. You're left alone with just seconds to make your move before this finally finds you. Bush. deeper into the park. You take off before the light can reach you. In just a single dash, you find a small, overgrown mound beneath an old tree. You realize you didn't have to run that far. The searchlight passes through where you were standing just seconds ago, but doesn't actually reach much farther into the park. The helicopter flies on, its searchlight frantically moving through the vicinity as your companions once again appear in your proximity. Close call, we have to get out of here before the SI puts boots on the ground. Of course it's the SI. Here, tell me what's going on. What are you two doing here? Care to tell me what's going on? I will fill them in while we walk. Follow me. Your life up to this point, everything you knew. It was a highly advanced VR simulation. Welcome to the real world. Gee, thanks, Hope. Your blank stare is what makes it crack. No, actually, the SI First Light, in this case, I think raided your haven and took you in. They were just transporting you out of town. Kaiser told us which route they'd take. How did the SI know where I live? Wait, how did the SI know where I live? Messed up your security next time. Keep your antivirus software up to date. Avoid questionable websites and only download software from trustworthy sources. There's a ride. Come on, stay low. The SI might still be around. Kaiser's familiar car stops nearby. The back door opens. Our allies usher you inside and join you being inside this mega fortress that felt complete until now. Hello, fledgling. Miss me? Quite a lot, sir. Yeah, actually, yeah, I kinda did. Oh, that's so sweet. I hate to break it to you, but I didn't take a sudden liking to you. I'm here on business. Of course you are, buddy. You're here now only because I told your buddies that you were neck deep in shit. The van you were in, a one-way ticket to Hurtville, Pennsylvania. I broke you out as a favor. Now you owe me big. Of course I do. Hope snorts. What's so funny, Jester? Hurtsville, Pennsylvania. What, you like it? Yeah, it's literally the funniest thing I've ever heard. Is there a Usenet where your workshop these bits with other ancient demons? Can I get in? Oh, Hope. Everyone's a critic. Why didn't I wake up earlier? I'm told I was picked up 2 nights ago. Why didn't I wake up earlier? Inquisition aren't dumb. They broke into your place in the middle of the day and staked you as soon as they saw you. Bam! Paralyzed. Rushed you to the cloisters and examined you a bit. If you're walking funny, that's why. Lucky for you, I had an inside man loosen the stake a bit before they packed you in. But you have an inside man within the Second Inquisition. That fur blocking your pretty ears, Stray? Yeah, I have somebody on the inside. As much as I'd like it to be in the case. I'm probably not the only one. I have a good idea of why the SI hit you, mister. Not that there aren't tons of good reasons for it. It might have been one of those, for instance. One of these, for instance? What did I do now? Screen Kaiser's car flicker, and each of them now shows a short-looped clip. It's you getting into a fight, defeating using one of your powers. You haven't exactly kept a low profile, fledgling. I get it, you're new to this, you didn't know better, yada yada yada. The fact is, guess I has tons of this stuff. Security camera footage, YouTube videos posted by onlookers, social media posts from victims, you name it. Like I said though, I don't think one of these did you in. Slip-ups happen. The reason I need you walking and talking, mister, is to test a hypothesis of mine. But then I need you to finish what you were tasked to do. So first things first, here. He hands you a phone. The number has already been dialed. You hit its tone. Somebody picks up. Who is this? It's me, Sophie. Mister, are you okay? They're fine and dandy. Kaiser, what are you doing on this line? What do you think? It's my phone your protege is using, so keep it snappy. Operating a secure network ain't cheap. Come on, mister, spit it out. Let's look here. I got captured by the SI. Listen, I got captured by the Second Inquisition, but I'm fine now. SI, that's what I feared. Listen, the plan, we need to do it tonight, but if the Inquisition is involved and you broke out, they'll be looking for you, so we can't meet in public. I have a place in mind, but guys, are you still listening? Would I tell you if I wasn't? Mr. Call this number from where you visited before last we spoke. I'll come pick you up. She hangs up. And that's that. What is that you've got? What is it that you've gotten yourself into? You need to answer that riddle. I think I've already almost arrived at the answer. Sorry to spoil the fun, but I'll answer that particular riddle momentarily. Don't worry, doll. I can throw a few other ones your way after our mutual acquaintance continues with the night. What? How am I answering? What did I do this time? If my intel is worth a damn, your next stop, mister, is right about here. The car comes to a stop and the doors open. Outside you see the street being solids and stripes. Twerk's pool pub. Well, you need me to kick you out? What about my companions? What about Tamika and Hope? What about them? They're staying right where they are, and we're going to have a little chat. After we're done, I'm sure they'll find their way back to their havens just fine. Clock is ticking. I think I know what Sophie wants to do tonight, and if I'm right, it's a nice last chance you've got. If you want to say bye to your buddies before you go, that's fine by me, but that schedule of yours is pretty hectic, so you better do it now and scram. Thank you, companions, for the help. You thank both companions for their assistance. Without them, we wouldn't be here now. Kaiser makes a gagging gesture and urges you to step out of the car. You turn around and make your way to the bar. The door closes behind you, and Kaiser's limo starts moving again. You hope your companions won't have to pay too high of a price for helping you. Solids and Stripes is pretty much abandoned tonight, with only the bartender and one blurry-eyed local watching an old Bogart movie on the bar's screen. Bogart. You ask who's the phone and call Sophie first. Yes? What's the plan? I'm here, what's the plan? We're on our way, notify Torque if he's not there. We need to talk as soon as possible and move quickly. She hangs up. You tell the bartender to notify Torque, just like the Anarch leader mentioned you should. The man makes a short call. You only hear somebody picking up, but no words exchanged. The owner's on his way right now. Can I get you anything while you're waiting? You serve the special stuff. You actually serve the special stuff, but I couldn't raise an eyebrow. Special reserve, you mean? Sorry, I can only serve that to a narrow selection of the owner's friends. I am one of his friends. Well, I am one of his friends. Nah, it's a list, and you're not on the list. I know because it hasn't changed for a while now. Sorry, everything else at the bar is up for grabs, though. Sure you don't want something? You shake your head. Torque comes in some 10 minutes later without Mia hurt. He tips his hat to you, puts a hand on the blurry-eyed patron's shoulder, and says something to him under his breath. They both laugh. Marty, how's the night going? Quiet, sir. Just how you like it, huh? Well, mister, I believe you wanted me here for a reason. Let's hear it. You're about to tell him what brought you here when the doors to the bar open and Sophie walks in, all splendor and charisma. The patron's eyes are now glued to her, and so are the bartenders. Torque isn't happy with the sight. Well, this isn't what we agreed on, mister. Care to explain? He had to improvise. Things got complicated. He had to improvise. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I believe Mr. already told you why I'm here. Not in any detail on the circumstances of our meeting. We're supposed to be different. So, Miss Langley, tell me why I shouldn't ask you to leave and kick out your protege while I'm at it. You will like what I have to say. Yeah, I've heard that line 100 times, but 99 of those ended with somebody getting hurt, and that's not something I'm in the mood for tonight. We're wasting time. There's a unique opportunity we should take advantage of, and we only have an hour or so to discuss it before it will be time to act. My driver is waiting outside. Wait a goddamn minute. First of all, I'm not going anywhere without Mia. That was the deal. Second, it's Mr. who was supposed to be driving, not your servant. Both serve me, so really it's a little different. The circumstances changed, and we had to adapt. Don't be stubborn. Foolishness does not suit you. I have a secure spot in mind where we can talk. I'll stop you right there. Torque was seething, but he's keeping a lid on the anger. His voice barely changes. My conditions were clear the way I hear it. You want to break each one of them. I see no reason at all to agree to any of this. I believe I will be staying put tonight. You have places to be, yes. Torque, you're throwing away the only chance you have at challenging Callahan. Don't be a fool. Lid comes off. Call me a fool one more time, woman, and that's not the only thing I'm going to be throwing. Oh, Lord. 1 second, guys. You're both acting like children. You need to put your differences aside and see the other's point of view. Both Sophie and Torque glare at you. No powers, just their personas are enough to make you feel like you'd prefer to be anywhere else but here. What the fuck do you think? Who the fuck do you think you are? There's only one child here, mister. You're their patron, Langley. What does that tell us? What are you implying, you insolent? Shots break the front windows and a flashbang goes off in the room, changing the bar into a space of white light and ringing annoyance. You see somebody tugging at your back and a phone behind the bar. More shots ring out, bottles break, the TV shatters to pieces. The wooden bar splinters. Your sight comes back, but you think you've gone deaf, because suddenly silently see Torque beside you with Marty parked bleeding out on the floor. You look over the bar. Sophie is standing there, her dress partially tattered, a visible hole in her leg. She is like a heart of a supernova. Her heart of a supernova. Entrancing, unavoidable, beautiful, and terrifying. In front of her are 8 operatives, looking like a private military force, just standing there, paralyzed by Sophie's magnificence. Torque, you still there? Yeah? Would you kindly show your guests some hospitality? Sure thing. The anarch is gone in the blink of an eye, and you Reaper is next to one of the soldiers. The armor-clad operative's head disappears with a puff of blood and bone. Same thing happens the second, the third. You hear the radios go off on the other soldiers' shoulders. A panic voice pleading to them, "Wake up!" The fourth head pops. The fifth. You finally realize what's happening, but it's too late. The sixth man is beheaded by what you now see is just Torque's bare-fisted flesh. Jesus. Torque stops for the seventh man, rips something off his neck and bites down. Sophie walks over to the last man and has him kneeling in front of her before fighting as well. On your right, a man in full body armor emerges from the back door, raising his assault rifle. What the fuck? Break the soldier's neck. Not thinking twice, you stand up and grab the soldier's head in your hands. Before he can react, you twist. The sickening sound of breaking bones is followed by the crumpling of his limp body. You see Torque holding the combat knife in his hand, ready to throw it. He catches your eye. Beat me to it, Langley. Sophie wipes her mouth with blood and looks at him. That meeting's still an item. Yes. I'll take it. Splendid. Torque walks behind the bar and checks on the bartender. You see the anarch opens his wrist and feed blood into the wounded man. Drink up, Marty. It'll make you feel better. Get the hell out of here and wait for Mia. She's coming and she'll know what to do. Torque? Yeah, coming. Take the back door. Mister, come on. You slink back into the alley behind the bar, leaving 10 bodies and one grievously wounded fool behind. Nobody stops you from circling around the block and finds a way to Sophie's car. Finding a way to Sophie's car. Gregory drives away casually as if it was just another late night drive and not the crowning and desperate complication. Sophie brings you all to a luxurious apartment in Manhattan's Upper West Side. The way she explains that the vampire who owned it left the city a few years ago and gave away spare keys to a few trusted compatriots. It's been used sporadically since. Fancy. You like it. It always felt too modern for my taste, but what's important is that it's secure. As long as nobody followed your car here, or the fledgling, trouble follows this one winner wherever they go. Even if that's the case, we have very little time to conduct our business here anyway, and we'll be leaving soon, I hope. So let's begin. Stay silent. Look at Sophie, excited. Finally, you will learn what it is that you've been working towards for more than a week, and what it is that Kaiser wanted you to participate in. I have it on good authority that Boss Callahan is bloodbound to Prince Panhard. Torque sucks on air loudly. That's an accusation and a half there, Langley. Got proof? No, but you're just a boat ride away from getting it. What is that supposed to mean? Mister, the address that I produced from Kaiser was the meeting spot of Panhard's and the Baron's regular sharing of blood and other bodily fluids, if the rumors are true. Oh, lovely. Wait, Kaiser knew about this. Is there anything that insufferable clump of dead skin doesn't know in this city? He knows things, but only shares them if you pay. Neither the Prince nor Callahan can touch him. He's too useful. Kaiser said saving me was in his interest. Kaiser said something about having plans for me, that he wanted me to make this meeting happen. That can't be good, right? That is an interesting point. I think Kaiser might be as interested in shaking up the status quo as we are. A chaotic landscape makes for a greater market for him, unlike a static one. I don't like playing into the creep's hand, but at least I know that I'm doing it. The devil you know, and all that. What was the address he gave you? They meet regularly on Ellis Island. In fact, their next scheduled meeting starts in just around half an hour. Hot damn, I'm guessing you want to crash that meeting? Why? So you can see the proof for yourself, and so that I can make sure to... And so that I have an extra pair of eyes for Panhard to consider when I present her my ultimatum. Prince must abandon her seat and leave New York City. She can go wherever she pleases, but if she stays, the entire court will know, and the next prince might not look favorably on her past. Dealing with the anarchs, especially so closely, is a punishable offense in the Camarilla, as I'm sure you've heard. So I did. Torque strokes his beard and looks intently at Sophie. What exactly are you trying to accomplish here? Say you remove Panhard and I even remove Callahan, then what? Torque, did you ever wonder why Callahan is keeping you in check? Because I wondered why the prince condemns anarchs during her visits to Elysium, but doesn't allow the ivory tower to challenge you. She or they have engineered the status quo, not for the good of their sex, but for private gain. They keep us all in line because it lets them hold onto power that much longer. And your goal is what? Make this Cold War turn hot? Not a great plan. You camis will get your butts kicked out of New York in no time. If you anarchs manage to organize, which I doubt you will, at any rate, it's a risk I'm willing to take. I don't stand alone in this. This entire operation has been years in the making. Torque, I am offended. I'm not offended. Oh my god, I can't read. Torque, I am offering you a choice to square things with Callahan and level the playing field. If we get rid of these two, we can start on equal footing at the next stage of this dance macabre. How do I factor into this plan? Do I factor into this plan at all? Yes, we will be taking you with us to Ellis Island, both as another set of eyes to witness the Prince and Baron in the act, and as a bit of added security. I don't think Helen or Callahan would dare lay a finger on me, but they will not find me unprepared. You know, after all these years spent in Callahan's shadow and taking part in all the kindred dick measuring contests, I should expect a ruse, some ploy to kill me in an out-of-the-way place. That's our inherent paranoia talking. My gut tells me it's time to get this show started. I do hope you have a boat nearby, Langley. Sophie smiles just mischievously. Of course I do. It's waiting for us by the pier. Lead the way, then. Moonlight's burning. Three of you leave the apartment and walk toward the pier. Nobody seems to be following you. You get on a small patrol boat and double time it through the Hudson's cold, dark water. Out of all the places in New York City where the Prince and the Baron could meet, and it's Ellis Island, A landmark with a dark past, a museum on one hand, a dilapidated piece of history on the other. You leave the boat and make your way to the southern part of the island, paying no heed to the renovated tourist attractions on the northern side. You expected some resistance, a night guard, a helicopter flying overhead, or maybe an NYPD patrol boat. Nothing. The island seems completely deserted. Careless sets Sophie on edge. She's moving as quietly and subtly as ever, but you can see that she's eager to reach the particular house Grantel pointed out. Torque is following suit, grimly determined, flashing his piercing gaze all over, still clearly uncertain that this isn't some kind of con. Finally, you see it, light coming from a window in one of the buildings at the edge of the island. The three of you slowly creep closer to the building and take a look inside the window. There it is, Callahan kneeling in front of the prince, sucking on Panhard's wrist. Both fully clothed, a small blessing. Torque makes his move, and before Sophie can stop him, he busts through the building's door. It all happens very quickly. Torque grabs Callahan by the shoulders and throws him through the still open door. Callahan hits the ground hard. Torque appears on top of him and starts punching. You fucker, you piece of shit! Stop! The prince's voice takes hold for just long enough to make Torque relent, which the Baron uses to the full. She shoves Torque off of him and tries to bite down. Prince, call off your lapdog. Langley, what is the meaning of this? Two Winarchs break apart, both wounded, but neither is quite done yet. They look at one another with pure hatred. Kill the bitch, Helen, but leave the fledgling to me. Right after I deal with this shit stain, I'm gonna... A shrill and pleasant laugh fills the air. You know who it belongs to. So entertaining, truly. It feels almost a shame to break up the spectacle. But alas... Thomas? Who the fuck is this joker? Yes, I don't think we met, though I do hear a lot about you, Mr. Torque. My name is Thomas Arturo, and I... Callahan uses this moment of uncertainty to strike. He's still too slow, but for Torque, who throws the boss onto the lawn, where the two exchange blows once again. Helen, if you'd be so kind as to ask your friend to not hurt our guest too much. Callahan, don't kill him. This time, Callahan comes out on top and grabs Torque in an iron hold. The companion struggles, but can't quite break away. I will not be denied, Helen, not this time. You will do as I command. And she will do as I command her, Douglas, old boy. What? Like I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted, I feel like I need to break up this little spectacle. It's been going on for much too long. You think you're so smart, Langley, you and your clique. Figured out that there was something fishy going on, all on your own. But you were always working with just a piece of the puzzle. Wasn't she, mister? Sophie looks at you, shocked and disappointed. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. Of course you don't. Of course, how could you? Only I knew, and your sire. They're the one who agreed to embrace you after some negotiations. You are screaming a curse at Callahan, whose arm has been nearly ripped off his body. Torque breaks out of the Baron's grasp, but doesn't continue the attack. City's at the edge of the water in the blink of an eye and disappears into the Hudson. The only trace left of him is his fedora. Another actor off script at the very end, eh? No matter, let him bring us some amusement now that the production is almost wrapped up. He'll reach his allies. He'll tell everyone of this. Helen, even if we naively assume his nights aren't numbered, now that he's in the SI's sights, the show must go on one way or another. Won't hurt to encourage leaks and speculation. I didn't do anything, Sophie, so I don't know what's going on. 1 minute, guys. Sophie looks at you. How could you, mister? I saved you. Arturo suddenly appears next to her and slaps her in the face. Langley, what happened to your self-esteem? You can't really think a simple neonate has outplayed you. Or maybe this oblivious act is your way of groveling for mercy. Thomas, what? You thought that being an expert chess player would always be enough? You never realized the people at the top simply flip the chessboard over and punch you in the face whenever they don't like how the game is going. He motions to the remaining kindred, but the thing is, you weren't even adept at playing the game, you know. You knew, mister. The game you knew, mister. Just another pawn placed on the board by my associate. You thought they were your piece since you took them in, but who gave you that idea? You returned to the night where you were judged by Prince Panhard, the woman in red, Sophie. Somebody speaking to our man in glasses, the man standing before you now. This is cruel, we know what's going to happen. If only somebody would speak up for the poor child. They could be a useful tool for the Camarilla. Terror creeps onto Sophie's face. Of course, there are no other words you heard, were there? Of course, those are not the words you heard, were they? No, you were already grasping for some opportunity to further your scheme. I put the bait out, and you took it hook, line, and sinker. For that, it was only a matter of time before you started using Mr. as your errand boy. No one is quite as easy to track and monitor as a naive fledgling who's just learning the ropes. What is it that you want, Thomas? What do I want? Oh boy, the answer is so simple, but so hard to put into words. Unstable stability, cutting-edge tales of thrills and intrigue that push it to the limit, and then return you to the tired, tested status quo. Gently infallibly. A system full of distractingly moving parts, which simulate conflict so convincingly that its users never feel a need to direct their energy toward upsetting the system. Achieving the eternal through the disposable, building a city that's like the ship of Theseus, constantly changing its parts yet always maintaining the same purpose, serving the same goal at all times. Large-scale infrastructure that has something like an exhaust system for the spirit, something that disperses the toxicity around instead of concentrating it in a single place. None of what you're saying makes the slightest bit of sense. I agree with Sophie here. Arturo is momentarily stopped in his tracks. He stares at the sky for a few seconds before a sad grin appears on his face. Spoken like someone who's never really had what it takes to make it in the big leagues. With a theatrical snap of his fingers, he gives the last sentence a sense of finality. Something's changed in the air. You swear you saw a shadow move behind Sophie. Goodbye, Sophie. The person appears behind Sophie. You can't believe your eyes. It's Adelaide Davis holding garden shears in her hands. Push Sophie out of the way. Take off and rush towards Sophie. You only take a few steps before a figure blinks right next to you and pushes you away. Arturo. You hear the shears snip. Sophie's red hair conceals her face as her head falls separated from her shoulders. Silence. Arturo's unpleasant laughter erupts right next to you. Oh, mister, your career is moving at a breakneck pace, moving up and up and up. Let me congratulate you on your promotion. What do you want from me? What's the rush? I was about to get to that. Helen, feel free to leave us and take the Baron with you. Thomas, I don't think you should. Shush, you're just being jealous. Adelaide, escort the prince and dear old Douglas, please. Sure thing, darling. You are left alone next to Sophie's body. You try not to look, but it's hard to ignore her lithe frame decomposing in front of your eyes. Congratulations, you won this little game. You set out on a suicide mission and successfully brought down the power-hungry, wannabe tyrant, even if it probably wasn't the way you imagined it. Now you're free to enjoy paradise again, life after death, immortality, eternal youth. What they don't tell you is, of course, living in paradise is inherently sinful when not everyone can partake, but you have time to learn how to live with sin, don't you? Takes a melancholic look at the city skyline surrounding him, the Statue of Liberty, and the lights of Manhattan shimmering in the distance. You know, New York taught me to believe in fate. My own life began right here, and it began with utter despair. My first instinct was to drown myself in books and keep reading and reading until literature gave me the piece of wisdom I needed to go on. Personally, I find reading a silly hobby in retrospect. I always had this minuscule hope that the next sentence I'd read would finally bring me salvation, but it never did. It only gave me fuel for this elevated, righteous, intellectual suffering. But the more I read, the easier it was for me to boil every paragraph down to a power relationship, the characters' influence over each other, the writer trying to impress the reader, etc. The strings everyone pulls started to look like strands that weave into the fabric of fate, and once I saw its beauty, I got teary-eyed. My architect instincts kicked into overdrive. I didn't have to submit to fate. All I had to do was cooperate with it and wait for my time to shine, give it my input whenever needed, until it trusted me to do more. Thomas steps over what's left of Sophie, wiping his glasses with an elegant cloth from his pocket. And it did. Fate let me look after the city. With my architect's tools, I started quietly shaping the streets and corridors while Kaiser and his ilk shaped the information flow. And among many tools this process gave me, one of them was a weird way to reliably come up with useful agents like you. The methods I used were crude at times, but the root was there. All you had to do was follow it. Some people write rulebook passages, the others plan city arteries. In the end, the effect is the same. Someone always follows. He puts on the glasses and gives you a long, hard look. You know, I have grown fond of you. You did so well, even with that idiot Callahan tipped. When that idiot Callahan tipped the Inquisition off, you still got out. I like that kind of resourcefulness. I could use that kind of resourcefulness. He uncovers his wrist. To take my blood just enough so we can start off on the right foot as a sign of good faith. A sign that you're ready to play in the big leagues, ready to hold the sights I've prepared for you. What do you say, mister? Damned if you do. Rage against your fate and complete the game with any. Achievement unlocked. Well, guys, I really wasn't expecting that to be the end of this game. That was surprising. I thought I had more time. I'm kind of sad that I didn't choose the other two, just because they also sounded interesting, but I do have to admit that I enjoyed being friends with Hope and Tamika. They were both really cool women, and I loved that. I gotta say, I wasn't expecting this ending. I wonder if there's multiple different endings. But I am probably not going to come back and do that again, unless you guys really, really wanted me to. I do suggest that you guys should play this game at some point. It was kind of fun. Oh, not kind of fun. It was actually a lot of fun. Though I wouldn't suggest reading it out loud to a lot of people. It really destroys your voice. But it was a lot of fun. Great game. I was not expecting the ending. I didn't realize that everything was connected. I would not have guessed that Sophie wanted us to take care of Panhard and Callahan because they were sharing blood, and that's a big no-no in Vampire Society. And I was really thrown out of... Well, I was just really thrown when the other dude showed up, and turns out he was the mastermind of the whole thing. I really, really wasn't expecting that at all. And I wasn't expecting my stalker lady to be the person who actually changed me. That's really creepy in hindsight, thinking about that. I should have realized that earlier. Anyway, guys. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, the game has ended. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I had a lot of fun. If you want to see previous streams that I've done, go check out my YouTube channel. Link is in my bio. If you guys want to see when I'm about to stream something, go check out my Twitter or my Instagram. Link is also in my bio. Or check out my schedule here on Twitch. If you guys don't want to do any of that, here's my schedule for the rest of this week at least. And also, I will be posting a poll on Twitter and YouTube and possibly Instagram if there are Instagram polls. I don't really know, but this poll will be about what you guys want to see me play next. I really wasn't expecting this game to end so quickly. I figured I had at least one more stream with this game. But anyway, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, do whatever the hell it is you guys want to do, and I hope you guys have a good day and night wherever you are, and I shall see you guys real soon.